Hey everyone, and welcome back to the David Christopher's channel. I'm Jen.
I'm David.
And we are back with a cone that is, you said 48 inches tall?
It is.
Tell them about the cone.
So it's a wireframe cone with angel vine spiraled around it. So we've had a lot of people ask about grapevine cones. Angel vine's a little more friendly than grapevine. It's a little thinner and a little more forgiving. So we've got these from 48 inches and I think 48, 36, and 24 inch. And as I was telling Jen earlier, we do take the 24 inch and the 36 inch sometimes and turn them upside down. And if you kind of bend this together a little bit more, you can give it that more oval shape. And they actually work really well for wall pockets. This one might be a little bit large for your house.
Just depends on how big your house is.
Yeah.
How big your doors are.
If you've got like a 15-foot front door, this might look great.
Or this could be used in a commercial type property,
Yeah.
I would say, as a display piece. This can also be, with a little bit of maneuvering, turned into a cornucopia.
Yeah, we'll take these and just, you can see if you kind of bend this direction, you just have to keep bending. I don't want to bend it too much because I need it straight for this video, but at the same time, if you bend it and give it that curl, it works really well for a cornucopia. The only thing is sometimes one of these wires will flatten out on you and you'll have to kind of bend that back out. But other than that, they make great cornucopias, and a whole lot cheaper to ship them like this than when it's got this massive curl on it. Then you need like a weird bigger box. So
today David is actually going to take this and it's going to be decorated and then added to this urn that we have. And so he's already prepared this with some styrofoam and some Spanish moss or sheet moss, I guess, on top of this.
Yeah, it's styrofoam underneath and I've got sheet moss on top of that. And I guess I was looking at a house that I want to buy. Don't know that that will get to happen, but we found a house we liked and thought that would be great. And I thought these would look great out in front of that house. If I could do two of these, of course, probably a good idea to have the house before you make the decorations.
That's true, but you can pass on your inspiration to other people.
Yeah.
And so let's go ahead and get started. We missed last week. For any of you who follow along, it just got really crazy and we've both been working in the warehouse as well as trying to keep up with other things. And so we're glad to be back and hope to make up for it today. So stay tuned.
So we're going to be doing this two different ways today. The first way we're going to do it is we're going to decorate it for fall. And then we're going to undo that and show you what Christmas looks like in the same thing, because we're kind of in that. Some people want to see fall and some people want to see Christmas at the moment kind of thing right now. So the easiest way to do this is to use garlands. So I'm just going to use the end of my garland here and just push that in toward the very bottom of my grapevine. And then I'm going to start wrapping this slowly up around the grapevine. And I'm going to use some of these curly twigs coming off of the garland vine to go in through the grapevine or the honeysuckle, and that will secure it in place. But I won't need to glue anything. I won't need any additional wire, really, anything like that. Super easy to do. You just got to be a little forceful with it. And then we're just going to bend these back because they're all going to want to stick out a little bit too far. But we'll bend those back in if you need to. Use that because we can just bend this up. But if you need to, you can use that little piece of that curly vine and tuck it in to help hold that into place where you want it. So as long as you get this around part of either the frame or the vine, that's going to hold in place really well right there. Now we're going to take our pumpkin garlands already kind of spiraled up our cone tree here. So the easier part is we're going to take some of our fall berries and we're just going to embellish this garland. And this should be very easy. We're just going to stick through the grapevine the honeysuckle vine itself, and we're going to go in between some of the pumpkins. So you can just twist a wire around from one of the pumpkins, something like that. That should hold it in place really well, but we're just going to embellish this garland that's already on the cone tree. And you don't have to cut these apart, it's just personal preference. Sometimes a little easier if you're doing this to work with a smaller piece. But we're really just going to add this berry that's got these really large orange berries with just a little bit of leaf. And then I've got another berry that we're going to add. We're just going to fill it full of fall colored berries, and this velvet pumpkin garland should give it a good mixed texture and help you be able to see it better. We're just going to slide this into the angel vine here, and then use one of these curly twigs from the garland itself to hold that into place better. Now we're going to add this different berry, just a little different mix, a little brighter orange. Got some more mini berries in it, and we're just going to kind of go in between the pieces that we've already added, just really thick and full in berries.
And for those of you who want to recreate this at home, remember that we do set up collections so that you are able to see everything that David uses in today's video in one convenient location. And I will drop down in the description and let you know how many of each item he used, because this will probably not be sold as a kit, but I'll give you all the details on what you need should you want to order everything you see to make the end result.
Now, if you are like me and you feel like you got a little bit too wide, just go back in with some of your curly stems and tighten those up a little bit. And we'll get this a little more compact to our honeysuckle cone here. So now we've got our cone pretty much wrapped. We're going to be able to put this on top of our pot, and we can add just a little bit more to it. So we're just going to let this sit, and it sits really evenly. Of course, I got my styrofoam pretty even on it. But what we're going to want to do is I'm going to use some of these stems from where I cut some of our berry leaf pieces earlier. Make sure that's centered. And we're just going to make a little U shape right here and push that down around our styrofoam. That's going to hold it in place.
I love that you can't even tell because it's like the same color as the grapevine.
It is handy that there are brown stems, but now you've got to push over the whole thing to make it fall. So like I said, this is my dream of if we had a house that I could put two of these on either side of the door, that's what I would do. So when I do that, I usually kind of embellish one corner a little bit heavier, and that's what we're going to do here. Is we're going to extend this corner right here out where we started. I'm just going to add a little more berry, and then we're going to put a large pumpkin, one of our large velvet pumpkins here. And to do that, we're going to need a little piece of wire, and because it's velvet and it's basically like plush, there's fabric, and then there's cotton, whatever, batting underneath it. Is we just need a good, like a, I don't know, stitch, whatever you want to call that. And then we've got our wire through. We're going to take one of those other stems that we haven't used yet. We're going to wrap that super tight.
So you're making a pick
around the pumpkin. And now we've turned that into a pick. Now, as long as you get this in the styrofoam and it's got something to rest on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull the tag off.
There we go.
Then it should stay fairly where you put it. And then we're gonna add another one. to this other side here. And build it up just a little bit more. So same thing with this one, is we're gonna wrap that really tight. And then because it's got this other pumpkin to rest on, now they will be a little floppy if you do not have anything for them to rest on. So I do recommend you having something like I've got the berry underneath it, and if you need to, you could always take something and just kind of like add this piece in to prop it exactly where you want it if needed. We're pretty much done with this, the fall version of what we're doing here. And now we're going to move on to Christmas. So if you're excited for fall, we're trying to keep you in the, it's not quite cold yet, and we're willing to do fall. And if you're ready for Christmas, we're going to do that too.
So the cones are actually sold as a set. So if you order this, you're going to get this guy as well. But another idea would be you could decorate without the container or without the vase, and just decorate the cones with the garland, the berries, all the same kinds of things, but just decorate both of them to put beside your mantel. Or
So it'd be great on a hearth.
Yeah, on
because,
a hearth.
You know, usually a hearth is, what, 60 inches, you know, or mantel's going to be around 60 inches. Depends on how old your house is. I've been setting them much higher because I like my mantels up high.
So that's another idea too. Or you could buy, like most people, if you're going to decorate this large one in a vase to put outside of your home, then you could take the two small ones and do something inside your home with those and decorate those to coordinate or to match. And now we're going to move along to
Wall
show
pockets
you,
or cornucopias.
It could be a wall pocket, a cornucopia. There you go. But
and like I said, I usually flatten them out a little bit because they tend to roll a little bit when they're super round. But it's just a wire frame, so you can just kind of bend that in a little bit, and then you've got a real wall pocket.
Yeah, so lots of ideas that you can use these for, but we did want to tell you that these do come in a set, so there's multiple ways that you can decorate those and make them work for your space. But now we're going to transition into Christmas.
Why don't I just decorate these for Christmas like this?
Yes, I think that would be great.
So to more accurately give you an idea of what it looks like with two different cones, we're going to do one a little bit thicker. We're going to do the taller one a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. And the smaller one, we're going to make it a little less wild. So if you want to make something a little more, I don't know what the word is.
Minimal?
Minimal, yeah.
Minimalistic.
Little more, yeah, minimal. We'll go with that since I can't think of another word that's going to have to work. But really, we're going to use this Fresh Touch pine that I love and we always sell out of. And this one is new. It's got a little bit lighter green, and it's mixed with these cream berries, but it's just really easy to, if this is all you want to do, this is super easy to do. Just make sure you get it semi-tight. It's trying to spin on me, so maybe not as easy as I said it was, but pretty easy to do. Is really you just got to get to this point. Once you're at this point, you're pretty much done. Is we're just going to wire that off. I found myself a piece of wire that I should have prepared ahead of time. So now that I have my wire, we can get this one settled. And I would ordinarily wrap this in brown floral tape, but I didn't have any close by, so I didn't use any. And I know green floral wire would probably show less too, but I didn't have any of that close by either. So we're just going to go with the silver, and we're going to hide that with some of our pine up here at the top. but just really easy to maneuver. Just pull some of this pine around a little bit, bend it into the curve. So if you'll bend it more like it's curving around, that will help it have that more natural, like it's growing up kind of feel. And just keep bending around, shaping this out, and we'll be pretty close to done with this one. Now, if you are a little more like me, and you're like, I'm gonna go big or I'm gonna go home, we're gonna use our magnolia garland. And I love this magnolia garland because it's gonna have green and brown mixed in it, but you can shape this. So it is wired. And we're just gonna continue to shape the magnolia and the Norfolk. So we want to pull some of both, try to get some of that to each side so that you don't have big gaps where the Norfolk would be, or big gaps where the magnolia itself would be. We're going to bend some of the magnolia out like this, so you get that very natural feel of the magnolia, but we do want some of the brown to show. We want to keep it like that. But we're gonna spend just a little bit of time. We're gonna shape this out more fully. And I've got another one to do because we're gonna need 2 pieces of each for our larger cone, and then we'll be back to add them together. Now that we have both of our garlands done, I love these. I really like this mixture of this light green Norfolk with this magnolia and a little bit of cream berries in it. But we're gonna be able to add this to the cone tree, and we're going to start the same way. We're going to use this little piece here and just stick that in. You can just bend that around if you want. If you want to be extra secure, since we're doing this a little more thick on this particular piece, we're going to have to be a little bit tighter going around. So we're going to secure that in really well. You could just use floral wire. I'm a little too lazy for that at the moment. But then we're gonna just play with this, see if we can adjust this to where you want it. And then if you make sure you get this pretty tight. I didn't wire my ends together here. If you make sure you get this pretty tight, then it should stay in place. But we're going to actually go around more at the bottom so that we go almost all the way around. If you can see, there's not a lot of gap in the beginning because we want that to be almost like it's sitting on top of a wreath. That it's going to have that extra thick base on it, and then we're going to use a piece of floral wire, go through some of the angel vine, and as long as you've got this fairly tight, the garland wrapped around the angel vine tree, it should stay in place fairly well without you having to wire so many places. And you can, I mean, if you really are worried, if you're going to put it outside or something, I might recommend that you wire it in more places. But once you've got that wired right there, that should pretty much stay where it is. We're going to push a little bit of our Norfolk over the top of the floral wire that we put there so you can't see that. And then we are going to wire this other piece on again, but just because the I want to make sure I get the main stem wired first. I didn't wire this piece on yet, but do wire that main stem of the garland on, because if you just try to wire the berries and a little bit of this Norfolk, something like that, it won't stay as well because those aren't attached to the main stem as great as they need to be. And these would be great for a mantle. Really for anywhere you would want to use a garland, but we're still going with our cone tree here. We're going to get that wedged in there pretty tight. And then we're going to keep going around. Make sure you got it really where you want it, and then pull it tight. Maybe raise this piece up a little bit down here. So you just kind of have to make sure you got it as tight as you can get it. Otherwise it will try to slide down on you a little bit.
You were battling with it today.
I am. Well, I didn't wire my garlands together. I normally do. So we're going to put a little bend in our wire. And we're going to go through some of the honeysuckle here. Hopefully get that to go around there. And then we're going to wire this main branch of the Norfolk pine right here, and then I'll cut the excess wire off. So we can hide that a little easier. And then we just need to shape the rest of it out after we've gotten it on our cone. I may wire this particular part up just a little bit, just to keep it, where we want it. So now we've got our garland skewered all the way up, and we are pretty much finished with it. Like I said, you can keep kind of maneuvering things as you need to. If you need to make it a little bit tighter to the tree, you can bend some of the magnolia leaves and the Norfolk leaves back toward the angel vine cone, or you can maneuver it however you need to, because it's really up to you. But we've got these done.
And this is not a matching set, by the way.
It is not.
Just so that
No,
people
this
know.
is kind of like the pared down version, less expensive, a little thinner. And this is the very thick, very full, incredibly ornate. And this magnolia garland and the Norfolk garland, I think, just make a great mixture. So just wanted to show you what that looked like.
And another video is done and in the books or in the YouTube, whichever way you say it. But you have some great ideas to go by. Remember that we sell wholesale and retail. You can check us out at shopdavidchristopher's.com. And we will also have a collection built for these items for retail, so you can get an idea of what was used in each one and how many pieces you will need and all of that. We have some amazing sales going on through the rest of the year if you're watching this in 2024. So just keep a lookout on our website and to see what's new each month, because we will have different promotions each month. But we will keep you ready for all the holidays.
And remember to shop at small businesses near you. Those people are usually trying their best and working very hard. I know Jennifer and I have been working a lot of late nights, a lot of 13, 14-hour days sometimes. And, those people work really hard to be producers.
Yeah, and on our website, we have a store locator. You can enter your zip code and see what stores near you sell David Christopher's brand. Or you can always go to your favorite home decor store in your area and say, hey, I like David Christopher's. They sell wholesale. Could you buy some of their stuff? And we've gotten a lot of wholesale customers that way.
Yeah.
Just from you all going to your local home decor store and saying, hey, this is a brand I like. Can you get some for me? And most of the time, they're willing to give us a try, and then they continue to reorder because they like the quality of our products, and also because we are a small business. Customer service is extremely important to us, whether you're a wholesale customer or a retail customer. We like to try to take care of you as much as possible, and that's usually possible because we are small.
It's a little difficult this time of year.
Yes.
Just because there's so many.
Yeah,
we've got
a small staff.
We go from, we have time on our hands sometimes during the spring, and then this time of the year, we have no time.
Yeah, so please be patient with everyone that you're dealing with in the seasonal business right now.
Yeah.
I know our team really cares, but they can get inundated with phone calls, and there's only like a couple of people that answer the phones at all times, so it can get overwhelming, but someone will get back to you and make sure that you're taken care of. If not, give us a follow-up email or call. Sometimes things happen, but we try to do our best. So until next time,